I'm Kirk Yuhnke. You're waking up to what's new this morning. Big cool down happening.
Yeah, finally.
Whoa, brace yourselves. You're getting to like, what, 105 today or something like that?
Think about it. You've been to the Grand Canyon, you've looked over the edge most likely, and you've thought, wow, that's a long way down. We're learning this morning a man is recovering after he drove his car off the south rim of the Grand Canyon.
But this thing is huge. Let me give you some perspective here. It's about 35 feet long, which Amber's over there in the Weather Center, 35 feet away from me. This thing's big.
This is the real deal, and when you get a chance to take a look at a facility, you quickly realize that this is big business.
This morning, people are digging out, many of them picking up after a day of wild and destructive weather. I want to show you some of this video that's come to us out of North Carolina. I grabbed the tape measure, I came out here to the newsroom, and I posted a sign up there. Look, 20 feet. Could you even imagine snow up that high? I grew up in Buffalo. 20 feet is unreal even for me.
And you know, it's never too early to think about college. There's no question that getting a higher education is a good thing. However, paying for it, wow, it can be tough.
So you've got the text message on your phone, but the question is, what can you do about it? The software lets you lock your child's computer remotely. Once you get home, you can unlock the computer and see exactly what happened.
Well, it's all about these yellow flashlights, the heavy-duty, large flashlights. You know these as something you may take camping, but these are causing a lot of problems across the city. And we start this 6 o'clock hour with a breaking news update. Take a look. We've got a live picture for you from Air 15 of the I-17 near Dunlap, and this is the tanker that flipped over.
Do you have trouble multitasking?
No.
Okay.
You mean doing more than one thing at the same time?
Yeah.
No. I can do a million things at the same time.
Good morning, everybody. 5 o'clock on this Wednesday, December 28th. We're so glad to have you joining us here on ABC 15. I'm Kirk Yuhnke. Connie has the morning off. We're going to start with your weather here. We'll get to traffic in just a second, but Amy is over there tracking what looks like just an awesome forecast.
Yeah.
In Democracy 2012, your voice, your vote. We are less than a week away from the first Republican presidential primary that's set to take place in Iowa. Susan Casper is in the Breaking News Center. She's been tracking this campaign. And Susan, the campaign's no longer taking the high road. Some of them are getting kind of nasty.
Yeah, I guess you can.
It's fun to watch. I can't imagine it's all that fun to be in the middle of that mudslinging, but we're going to keep an eye on it for you. And I got to tell you, we've got the national candidates out there, but several candidates from right here in our state are looking to make an impact on the upcoming presidential primary. Richard Grayson is a Green Party member. He's from Apache Junction, and he's tossed his hat in the ring. The Tucson School District could soon be losing $15 million in state funding, a big chunk of change. And we have learned the judge who made the ruling is Republican and was appointed to the bench by Governor Jan Brewer. Sergeant Cammie and the family, thank you so much for your service. So happy to have you with us here on ABC 15 this morning. And this morning, we're working to save you some cash. So 2011 still has a few days left, but we're going to talk about taxes because there are some things you need to do before the end of the year to save when it comes tax time in April. We're taking a look at your business headlines. A Houston-based company has just purchased a North Scottsdale shopping center. The Pinnacle at Scottsdale, located at the corner of Pinnacle Peak and Scottsdale Roads, was sold for almost $29 million. The new owners, Whitestone Real Estate Investment Trust, also owns several other Arizona properties. And you may have spent the better part of Christmas morning helping those kids put together the Lego sets, kind of a classic holiday gift. The giant box full of Legos that you end up finding all over your house. Well, make some room in your daughter's room for Legos because the company is rolling out a new line designed exclusively for girls. The company says its Friends collection is one of the company's most researched projects ever. Susan, I don't know about your daughters, but I know you just said that you got yours a drum set.
Yeah.
Sometimes girls don't want girl toys, boys don't want boy toys. It's just, you know, it's...
Yeah.
Well, speaking of smartphones, imagine if you dropped your iPhone or your Android phone and cracked the screen.
Done it.
Amy's done it. Twice? We need to talk. You got to invest in a nice case, Amy. Well, we're going to break down why insuring your phone could save you a major headache, and Amy's going to be taking notes for this story. Plus, the battle of the sexes. Which sex actually has dirtier doorknobs? We'll explain when ABC 15 Mornings continues. Good Wednesday morning, halfway through the week. Hope your day is off to a great start. We're glad that you chose us as your news source this morning. Connie is off. I'm Kirk Yuhnke. We're going to break down your traffic and weather. We'll start with Amy because you are the bearer of great news this morning.
Thank you.
It's why we live here, Amy.
It is.
We begin this half hour with breaking news out of Phoenix this morning. A family counting their blessings after an early morning house fire. A horrible situation, but Susan, you've been following the developments, and they really have a neighbor to thank for getting out alive.
Yeah, they certainly.
As we get closer to the first anniversary of the Tucson shootings, we're learning Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords will in fact be in Tucson to mark that occasion. Her staff says she will travel from Houston, but no scheduled appearances have been released. All right, we've got to listen to this story. Brandon, you especially, because you're a single guy. Take a look around your house. Is it clean or is it dirty? If it's dirty, chances are you are in fact single. According to researchers from the U of A, many single men and women have something in common. Their apartments are covered in bacteria. All right, Amy, what do you think is the dirtiest place in a woman's apartment?
A woman's apartment? Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Nothing.
I just cleaned my place completely, so I don't know. I don't know. I would say kitchen, probably.
The doorknob is where the most germs live in women's apartments. Guys, the remote control is the dirtiest item in your house. The coffee table, another place to find some crud, mostly because people put their feet up on the table, and it often doubles as a place to eat. Researchers say the same thing as your mom. Clean up after yourself, and you'll stay healthy and happy. Or get married. My wife keeps me in line. She doesn't let me get sloppy. All right, 5:42 right now. Hey, you know, we're about, just a couple of days away from some fireworks on New Year's for a lot of people. Should be fun. Be safe with those fireworks. Got to remind you, it's a dangerous time of the year if you're not safe. But we're glad to have you with us here on ABC 15. We're following some new developments right now in the Penn State child sex abuse scandal. We're learning former football coach Jerry Sandusky wants to do another TV interview. This year, the drama of college sports kind of took a back seat to child sex abuse scandals like the one I just mentioned at Penn State and the other one at Syracuse. Michelle Wright explains how the legal battles that are still playing out today rocked the campuses and their fan bases in 2011. And all of that very orchestrated, very organized. In fact, the procession itself was televised hours after it actually happened. So an interesting situation playing out there that we will be following. Thank you, Susan. If you're planning on flying today, get ready to deal with Mother Nature. Wicked weather, strong winds causing flight delays in New York as the Northeast deals with more winter weather.
I'm not buying that guarantee.
I know. Well, that makes you think. Is it even worth it? I got to tell you, a Christmas package arrived for my sister yesterday. It was supposed to be here 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
Same situation.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Better late than never when it's a gift, right?
Exactly. It's a gift. And you can't control the weather either, but we don't have to here because it's perfect. Right
No.
Brandon Hamilton, the newest member of our ABC 15 Mornings team. We're going to be talking with him in about 10 minutes about where he came from. Stick around for that because he's a great addition. We're glad to have him. Hey, do you know how much you'd have to pay if you broke your smartphone? Maybe if you dropped it in the sink, for example. Well, it's probably a lot more than you think. Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us how to insure your phone so you don't waste your money. Susan, the New Year buzzer helps you keep track of all those goals. I don't know about you, but I set them and the resolutions never happen.
Yeah, 30 days is about my max.
That's good. That's impressive.
I do good, you know.
Only 3 days left of 2011 and crews are transforming Times Square to ring in the new year. Right now they're putting the final touches on the ball that will take center stage on New Year's Eve. Good morning, Connie. JT Reddy is his name, and it's a name that some people may recognize. We here at ABC 15 have interviewed him in the past. He's been a controversial figure, a political figure, really, leading the neo-Nazi party here in Arizona and forming his own border patrol. And we're going to go in-depth on who that man is in just a moment. But first, I want to break down what's been happening here on the scene overnight. First of all, we know that investigators have been out here for 16 hours, since just after 1 o'clock, when they first found out that 4 adults were killed and 1 child was dead. Now, the question is, are the bodies still inside that home? It appears that is the case. ABC 15's Brian McElhatton has been here on the scene since midnight. And Brian, you're telling me it wasn't until 2 o'clock this morning when the medical examiner showed up on scene. Yeah, really chilling in hindsight now that we look at those messages. Brian, thank you for that. I know Brian's been here again since midnight, very busy watching the scene for us here. And I want to jump into more details. We're going to go in depth for you on just who the suspected shooter is. JT Reddy, again, is his name. Once the leader of the neo-Nazi party in Arizona, he officially stepped away a few years ago from that party to form his own border patrol unit. Now, the former Marine and other men would patrol the desert looking for illegal border crossers and smugglers, always armed. You may remember a few months back he decided to run for Pinal County Sheriff. His former campaign manager tells us he cannot believe that Reddy would kill anyone in anger.
This is a shock to me.
As we've seen them doing out here with military presence, FBI presence, the medical examiner on scene, we haven't heard from police since late last night. So we hope to get some more details on this investigation and really where it goes from here, because we're still waiting for more information from them on how this all played out. A tragic, tragic situation here in Gilbert.
So they were going up everywhere. We had no signage limitations, no local zoning effect.
The Green Mile in a rundown part of Denver is now infamous for its marijuana leaf signs, names like Good and Tasty. But dispensaries also popped up in sleepy suburbs like Cherry Creek, an upscale area with shopping, expensive homes, and schools. Neighbors were concerned when they first heard.
I thought I should keep my ears and eyes open to see if it impacted, my neighborhood. I live only like 4 blocks from here.
4 blocks from Alpine Herbal Wellness, a dispensary that blends into this strip of locally owned shops. The owners here gave us unrestricted access to their dispensary.
We have nothing to hide. We're very legitimate business people.
My wife's experience with using cannabis as a way of coping with the issues around ALS is what opened my eyes.
Now he grows it and sells it. What is typically an illicit drug is now a legitimate business.
It's sort of like a spice jar, so then patients can smell the terpenes, which the terpenes determines the odor.
Edible marijuana, inhalable marijuana, even topical ointments, all sold here, all legal in Colorado.
You have your medicine on the edge here, you just touch it to that, and it immediately vaporizes it.
The pot is locally grown. I was given access to a grow operation in Denver, although for security reasons I was asked not to shoot the outside of the building. Fans blowing, grow lights gleaming, and irrigation systems dripping throughout. Hundreds of plants, thousands of dollars in potential profit. The thing about these grow operations is that it's not something you can just throw together. It's not someone growing marijuana in their basement. This is the real deal, and when you get a chance to take a look at a facility, you quickly realize that this is big business. This is legitimate, and there's a science to growing medical marijuana.
It's been fed properly, the proper amounts, and believe it or not, each plant could be individually fed and watered.
I'm told this is one of the nicer grow facilities in Colorado. Because these operations can be the target of theft, most are on the state's registry, but kept secret to the public.
To be honest with you, this is not something that everybody gets to see on a daily basis.
She says the grower's goal is to keep the smell to a minimum so neighbors have no idea it's even here. The fear for many people is what happens when a grow or dispensary moves into town? The answer may surprise you.
Does crime follow these dispensaries? Does crime follow the grows?
It certainly hits the news more. But I think that the reality is from the stats that we've gotten from the Denver police and some of the others over the last couple of years when they've started doing it, these areas really have not increased in crime.
In fact, I couldn't find a single neighbor in upscale Cherry Creek to disagree with that.
I walk by them all the time, and they're just storefronts to me.
The people that are going to use them are going to come and use them, then the other people aren't affected by it.
There's a preschool just a few blocks down the road from the dispensary we visited. The workers at that preschool wouldn't go on camera for an interview, but they did tell me that despite a huge outcry from parents at first, there has been zero impact on their school since it opened.
So